All right, today we're going to talk about scaffolds and ladders, but we're going to start with the ladders first. Is an integrated circuit referred to as a chip? Yes, popularly called a chip. Yeah, integrated circuit. Who invented the integrated circuit? Remember the thing that's called JK flip-flop? Jack, I forget what the last name, Jack K. Kilby. There we go, I think. Bright individual in 70s. All right, he got a Nobel Prize for that too. Okay, anyways, let's go with the scaffolds and ladders. So we're going to start with the ladders. Ladders are going to be kind of integral part of your job if you are in this type of service industry, which means wiring and connecting things, whether it's electrical or otherwise, such as signal wiring of any kind, you are going to be required to elevate yourself onto certain height at some point or another in order to do your job. All right, so now there are three kind of parts. We're going to talk about two because the most popular thing is going to be just a step ladder or extension ladder, and we need to know some things about those in order for you to have as much information as possible about using these devices so you don't get hurt. A little kind of a flash quiz question kind of a thing. How high do you have to be in order to hurt yourself when you fall down? Right? Anybody can tell me what's the height that is considered to be dangerous if you're falling from and you get hurt? 6 feet, 8 feet, 6 feet? Well, here's these are excellent answers. However, I'm going to give you this. You could be sitting in a chair and fall off that, and you can get hurt. You could be standing on the ground and you can trip over and fall, and you can get hurt. So and everything else is just bonus in negative kind of a way. All right, so pay attention to that because the higher you get from wherever you're standing, gravity might be your friend or gravity might actually work against you. So ladders first. All right, overview here. Now, just adjust this size here. Fatalities by event or exposure. This is it's a snapshot of some sort of statistics. It doesn't matter where it is from. Pretty much, it goes with everywhere. Okay, so wherever the statistics, you're not going to see much difference. All right, so what do we see here with the statistics? Fatalities, that means somebody died. All right, so well, falls, okay, look at this, falls, about 45% of all the fatalities, right, in residential construction. It's just a residential construction, which could apply anywhere else as well. So the big chart of the pie takes the falls, all right? Now, fires and explosions, you got just 2%, 2% too much. Now, assaults and violent acts, we get 3%. Transportation accidents, anything involved with the transportation, this would be 14%. Exposure to harmful substances, that's not a small pie, piece of a pie. It's about 18%, and contact with objects and equipment, 18%. So that's fatalities, which means basically people have died because of accidents related to this type of events. All right, so as you can see, falls are taking a big piece of that pie chart. All right, now we're going to go on to, and we're going to examine just the falls. All right, so we're going to concentrate on the falls right now. So this is the falls. Now, 40%, all right, would be falls from the roof. All right. Then we have falls from the ladder. It's right here. all right, also a big chunk. Falls from the scaffold or staging, 15%. Then we go from a lower level, unspecified, not elsewhere classified, so others. Falls from the floor, dock, or ground level. All right, so here is the 8%. You can still get hurt when you fall from wherever you're standing. Fall on the ground. Falls from building, griders, or other structural steel. All right. Then fall from the unspecified. Okay, fall from the same level. All right, 7% still. You know, so that's all the fatalities. It's not just accidents. These are the fatalities. All right. And then fall down the stairs. You get here. So now falls from the ladders and falls from the scaffolds. That's what we're going to concentrate, trying to make you safe, because this is, you know, falls from the stairs. You're using stairs all the time, so you're used to that type of, if you can call it, device. All right, but when it comes to dealing with ladders and scaffolds, there's a high probability that things like that are new to you, and if anything is new, you have to familiarize yourself with, and this is what I'm going to try to help you with. Okay, all right. So here's the ladders and stairway safety. Okay, now common ladder hazards. So the dangers of. I'll be interested in seeing pie chart about spring, summer, and winter fatalities in residential construction. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I can find it for you sometime. Yeah. All right, so common hazards that are associated with ladders. All right, so they're listed in point form. Improper setup or portable ladders not 3 feet away, not 3 feet above the landing surface. What is a landing surface? If you're trying to go onto a flat roof, and you're going to put the ladder against the wall, that roof that you're going onto, that is your landing space, okay, landing surface, right? Not securing the ladder correctly, right? Standing on the top 2 steps of a step ladder, overreaching when working from a ladder, right? So these are the most common ladder hazards, and we're going to go over some of them in certain type of detail here. Okay, first of all, let's get some definitions set up here. So this is a typical step ladder as opposed to an extension ladder. That's an extension ladder, and this is a step ladder. Right. Now here's the top cap right on the top. These are steps, of course. Here are the braces, front foot, foot pads, rear foot, and the pads, and here's the spreader assembly right here. Rear rail. So these are the rails. Here's the front rails. Here's the rear rails. And here's a pail shelf, all right? And I've got the top cap already. So these are basically, this is the terminology associated with the step ladder, right? You will be able to download this thing. Actually, it's available right now. This lecture notes, PDF form, all right? All right, choosing the right ladder. When you're going to choose the right ladder, before stepping onto a ladder, think about these things. Duty rating of a ladder, what capacity can it hold, all right? So height of the ladder, not too short, not too tall, all right? Condition of the ladder and instructions unique to the ladder selected. There are different types of ladders, so you should be able to familiarize yourself with specific type of a ladder. Now, I've seen in the hardware stores those ladders being sold that you can basically, they're telescopic ladders. They fall and you can put it in a trunk, and then you can just extend that and make it a 10-foot ladder. What is the biggest hazard that comes with those? Well, some of the locking mechanism, that will be the weakest point of that ladder. You don't see what's inside those telescopic mechanisms, and if something fails as far as the locking, latches that are supposed to hold that in place as you step on it, that will be the weakest point. That's just an example of familiarizing yourself with the equipment and hazards associated with that, right? Okay, now here is as far as the duty rating capacity, right? Here's the type of ladders: double A, single A, type 1, type 2, and type 3. All right, so let's start with the type 3 ladder. It's a light duty used mostly in household activities, and it is rated to up to 200 pounds. All right, so sad to say, but I won't be able to use that ladder. All right. Right. Then here's a medium, not a type 2, medium duty. That is you're going to commercial use, right? Medium duty, rated for 225 pounds. So sometimes I can use it, sometimes I can't, right? Then there's a heavy duty ladder, industrial use, up to 250 pounds, extra heavy duty, 300 pounds, and so on. Special duty, now it's rated for 375 pounds. Okay, so now when it comes to buying a ladder for your everyday work use, I've seen some people on construction sites that are using the light duty ladders, simply because it is easy to carry. It's not that heavy to carry, and when you have to carry that thing around all the time, running wires or installing devices above the above the floor, sometimes you have to climb on it, and carrying the ladder, it becomes a task. All right, so some people choose to carry the light duty ladders, and so sometimes they were told to not bring those ladders onto the site and remove that from the site so nobody gets hurt. Right. Yes, sometimes it is heavier to carry. Some of the heavier duty ladders are heavier to carry, but they're much more safer to use, and they do not wear and tear as much as the light duty ladders. Right? Select ladder with the proper duty rating for your weight and the materials you're going to be handling. Right? So it's not just your weight; it's whatever you're going to carry on that ladder. What's the type for medium and the light duty? Can't quite see it. Okay. So yeah, you'll be able to download this thing. So for for medium and light duty, the light duty is about 200 pounds, and medium duty is 225 pounds rating. Okay. And this is according to the Canadian Centre of Occupational Health and Safety. All right, now you probably won't be able to see that clearly because I even have this thing kind of. These are the stickers on the side of the ladders, labels. One is the step ladder ID label, and here's extension ladder ID label. So you can see the rating with big numbers. This ladder is supposed to handle 300 pounds. That ladder is supposed to handle 375 pounds. All right. So now here's the height of the ladder size. Here, 6 feet, most common size. Now, just as a side note, there are two types of trainings, basic two type of trainings on. One is working on heights, and whenever you go on any construction site, you should have the working on heights, so-called ticket, all right, which means you have to have official training, you pay money for it, and somebody certifies you as, yes, that person has been trained. And whenever you're walking onto a construction site, always, first time that you're on there, they register everybody who's working there, and everybody who is going to be working on a specific site, they have to go first day. They have to designate for the safety training, and there's a safety officer on site, and they're going to sit you down in a room, play you some movies, some videos that have to do with safety and things like that, and you're going to have to demonstrate a little bit of knowledge based on what you have learned there, and then they're going to register you as, yes, this guy is legit to work on this site. Also, if It used to be called fall arrest, okay, which is basically preventing from falling. All right, now it's called working on heights. Maybe within 5 years it's going to change 3 times. Who knows? Maybe not. All right, but every year or every so often the requirements change as we go along. All right, so that's one thing. It's basically working on heights. The other training is used to be called lift ticket. Maybe it's still called lift ticket. And basically that's using mechanical devices such as scissor lifts, men lifts, or boom lifts. Okay, now I think the highest one that's being produced for that type of use is 180 feet high. All right, so that's quite high, and you're operating a mechanical device, so you should know something. You should be trained in order to do so. Now, if you're not trained, if you don't have the lift ticket, then you're not allowed to use that lift. Okay, so that makes you less valuable as an employee. All right. If you're considering a career in this type of field, you should start searching for companies who train. Where do you search? Well, a lot of equipment rental companies, they do offer on-site training for that. Well, you have to pay money for that, but they do offer that. And if they don't, they will be able to tell you who at this time, in whatever area you are in, offers that type of a training. All right. So that's the lift ticket. Okay. Now, as far as the working on heights ticket, if you don't have a working on heights so-called ticket, which means a certification that you have been trained, then you still can go on the construction site. But you are not able to work on any ladder that is above 6 feet. In fact, if the safety officer on the job site, if they see you carrying, not even using, but carrying from one point to another any ladder that is higher than 6 feet, taller than 6 feet, you are going to be kicked off the site and your boss is going to know it. All right. So they take those things seriously. All right. So we need to know a thing or two about ladders, right? And other ways lifting devices. Let's see the time. Okay, we're still good. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. So as opposed to step ladder, which is this, okay, we're going to look at something that's called an extension ladder. All right, that's what an extension ladder is. All right, and of course, if somebody is walking onto the roof, this would be the landing area, right? Notice how this ladder is positioned. Right? Not just tall enough. It has to have certain amount of feet that is above the landing area for that thing to be safe or legit or legal, for the matter of fact. Okay. All right. So parts. Oh wow. Something got screwed up here, but we're good. Okay, so the ladders. Here's the fly section. So the extension ladder is basically like two ladders coupled together, right? And then you can extend one part to make this thing longer or shorter. That's basically how it works, right? That's how extension ladder works. So the bottom part, where's my mouse? Here. All right, so here's the base section, the one that is on the bottom, that's not moving. And then there's the sliding part, right, which is called the slide rail. Okay? So here's the base section and the slide rail. And these little steps here that are extending between the rails, they are called rungs. Okay. Okay, and how do you extend that extension ladder? You use a rope on a pulley. There's a pulley system. So you pull the rope down and it just goes around the pulley and see you. And that's how you use the extension ladder. So these are rungs here. Now, There's also important thing here that's called anti-slip safety or shoes, safety shoes. So basically those are the little devices here that, excuse me, it looks like the ladder has feet, okay? It's a blurry picture. Something got lost in the translation here when I was converting it from PowerPoint to PDF. All right. But you will be you'll have a better picture there. Now, proper ladder setup. Consider placement and the pitch of the ladder. Secure and stabilize the ladder. Let's see what we have here. All right. So pitch and extension. Pitch is basically how steep is the walking area, all right? Climbing area. The angle, that's pitch. So extension ladder should be used at a 4:1 pitch. So every, excuse me, for every foot that it goes up, 1/4 of that, it should go away from the resting area, like from a wall. So if this was a 40-foot extension ladder, then it should have 4 feet, all right? Away. All right, so here's 12 feet, 3 feet. 40, not 4. That would be 10:1. Sorry. So the 40 foot would be 10 feet away. Right? Yeah, I see. So 4:1. 12:3 is 4:1. See that here? This distance here, and that versus this distance. 12:3 is 4:1. So 20-foot ladder divided by 4 will be 5 feet. Okay, so every 4 feet. Now, how do you know feet here? How long is a foot? Well, it just so happens that the rungs are placed 1 foot apart. All right, proper height extension ladders. Proper height. When accessing another level, the ladder must extend at least 3 feet or 0.9 meters above the landing to provide a handhold for getting on and off the ladder. 3 feet, right here. That's the safety rule. Right? Secure and stabilize ladders. Extension ladders should be secured at the top and bottom to prevent movement. Right? The base of an extension ladder must be secured in place by using the safety feet of the ladder or other effective means, depending on the situation. This should be top and bottom. Okay? There's something that's flying around here. So here is an example of securing the ladder on the top. Here's a top tie off. Okay. Do we have a thing here at the bottom? No, there's just the feet here. So this picture talks about the top of the ladder here, right? Bottom. Right? This is wrong. Okay, this is very wrong. Ladders can slip. First of all, this ladder seems to be damaged here, and somebody just used a rock to support that, and that is quite a dangerous situation. And I'm not talking about just from the stories. I do have a first-hand experience more than once. Not me falling off the ladder, but I have seen people not securing the ladders properly in this type of scenario. And let me tell you, when somebody falls from the ladder, and it was not that high, it was just like 10 feet, okay, somebody loses a balance, the ladder falls. Human body kind of is heavy when it hits the ground, and it's not a very pleasant sound, okay? It's, fortunately, all the falls that I have seen, nobody died, right? Some people got hurt in a certain way, but those things are real, right? So here is an example of properly securing ladders on the ground. You don't want this thing to slip, right? If it's a muddy ground, put something underneath So you compensate for the sinkiness of the, if I can say that, sinkage of the muddy ground. Right? So there are a couple examples of how to do that. This is, but you have to use common sense and whatever is available legally in order to legally obtain the safety that you need. Right? Now, other elements here. On the left here, we have Mr. Stabilizer. Okay. Stabilizer. Now, of course, you're covering greater area here to rest the ladder against something, so you have greater center of gravity possibility of the ladder not falling. All right. Now, I'm not sure if you have seen on your physics class or not. There's interesting experiment of a rectangular, not a prism, but shape, whatever that thing is from the math. All right. Yeah. Just like that. Okay. And if you have that, well, I didn't draw it properly. If you put like a level here, plumb, it is going to find, and let's say you're going to adjust the length of it to find the center of gravity of this. Help me out with this shape. I'm losing my mind. It's not. It's a rectangular, but it's not a prism. The prism would be that way. Right? So, anyways, if you tip it over, if you keep tipping it over, the center of gravity, if it's still within the base, that will be the base of it. Okay. If the center of gravity on the little string is still within the base, then you are maintaining the balance of it. If you tip far enough that the center of gravity finds itself beyond the base, it falls. Right? Now, where is your center of gravity as a human being? The best way to describe it is that's where your belt buckle is. Right? So that's why when it comes to reaching reaching over to the side, left or right, sometimes you're going to be tempted to just, okay, well, I have to come down, move the ladder and climb up, right? That takes time and I want to go home, it's late already. Well, that's when accidents happen, okay? Because if you just try to overreach, it just doesn't take much. Your center of gravity goes beyond whatever the base of the whole system is, then you're going to fall. There's no ifs, ands about it, all right? It's just that when your center of gravity goes beyond the base of the system, you are going to fall. It's just how physics works, okay? These stabilizers, they give you a little bit extra protection, but do not quote me on anything like this here, because yes, it will give you, technically, it will give you more stable area to work with, so you can reach a little bit further, but I just don't want you to get into an accident and say, oh, Bach told you that you can reach further when you use these. No, you should never allow your belt buckle go beyond any of those rails. Whenever you're reaching, you just don't hold on. You just hold on through. Yeah, okay, hold on through, which means I keep holding the ladder, and when it falls, yeah, but you're still falling. All right. All right. Let's see here. Timing, we're still good. All right. I'm gonna have to go back to some of the slides. Okay, step ladders. Right. So we were talking about extension ladders. Now we are talking about the step ladders. Step ladders only use in fully open position on firm level ground. Right. Sometimes what people do, here's the step ladder, and you extend that like this, and you use one side to step on and the other side you don't. Right? Some people fold it and put it against the wall in order to climb it. Don't do that. It's not safe. It's not designed to do that kind of a thing. All right? should be fully opened. All right. Do not use a step ladder that is folded or leaning in a leaning position, which I just told you. All right. Whether doing this step, can you rephrase the question, Chris? Something is I'm losing some of the logic there. Okay, so never sit and stand on the top 2 rungs. All right, where's the step ladder? Here's the step ladder. You step on this rung here, this step, this step. These top 2 steps are not to be stepped on. Right? They're for decoration only. No, they are not. They're to keep the structure. You can lean against it with your knees or with your lap, but you're not supposed to stand on this, and definitely you're not supposed to step on this top cap here. All right. Yeah. All right. Never so okay. Consider work height when selecting a step ladder. You should be comfortable. If you are not 100% comfortable when you're working on a ladder, here is what I have done many times. Sometimes I will be working on ladder, sometimes I will be using scissor lift, and sometimes I would be using a boom lift that would get you quite high. All right? And sometimes when you have not used that, if you haven't done it over a longer period of time, which, you know, a couple months maybe or something, and you're required to do a job that requires you to lift yourself in a boom lift, for example. What's a boom lift? That's what the boom lift looks like. Here's the base, here's the boom, and here's the bucket that you stand and work in on, okay? And it's on wheels. So that's a boom lift. This is the boom part of it, okay? All right. So whenever I would feel not 100% comfortable, I would just go and get myself to the height, to the position where I'm supposed to do the work, and I would just do nothing. All right. Take a minute or two just to familiarize yourself with the new surroundings that you're, you know, the world looks a little bit different when you're high than you're standing on the ground. All right. So just get your bearings, get your brain to get used to that. You'll be much more comfortable when working. If you're not comfortable, you're not safe. All right. If you're comfortable, sometimes if you're too comfortable, it can lead to an accident. So there's a well balance between this thing. But if you're not comfortable, you're definitely not safe. Right? So that's just a little advice that I'm going to give you when it comes to working on heights. Consider the height. Okay, yeah. So you should be, you know, whether you're using the boom lift, scissor lift, or any kind of a ladder, you should be comfortable in there. All right. Okay, maintain a safe position on the ladders. Face the ladder when ascending or descending. Do not face the ladder backwards and just use it as, you know, a stairwell. All right? No. If the safety officer sees you on a construction site and they walk around and they pay attention, that's their job. That's all they do. All right. You will be kicked off the site. Right? If you're lucky not to fall. All right, so face the ladder. Okay, maintain 3-point contacts. That's I've never gone to I've never gone to climbing school. However, in climbing there, you know, if you're climbing, like, you know, scaling a wall or something, then you should maintain 3 points. So either 2 hands and 1 leg minimum. 4 is the best, you know, 2 hands and 2 feet. All right, or 2 feet and 1 hand. All right? So 3 points. You should always, you should never detach more than 2 limbs. or more than one limb, sorry, more than one limb from the from whatever you're climbing. Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. There's the last one here. Never let your belt buckle pass either of the side rails. That comes with the center of gravity. Your belt buckle is your center of gravity. If your belt buckle goes beyond the rail, your center of gravity is beyond that system, you will fall. Right? Not maybe, you will fall. With the whole thing, the whole ladder is going to tip. All right, maintaining safe position on the ladder, continuing. Well, what can we see here? We see a dude climbing the ladder. What can we see? This guy here, see, he's got 4 points contact, and at any given point, he's going to detach one limb, either foot or hand. He's not carrying any tools in his hand. All the tools are in his tool belt. Or the best way of using that, of getting your tools up there, is using a bucket or some sort of box on a rope. And so you put your tools there, you go climb to the landing surface, and you pull things up. All right. Why am I telling you this? Why am I so serious about this? Well, I am serious about this because I have seen people fall. And until you see that, you could maybe make some jokes or something like that and whatever. But after you have seen one or two falls, then it kind of takes a smile off your face, even when you remember that, right? So, and it's not a happy situation. All right, so another thing I'm going to tell you here is choose the type of a ladder. If you're working with electricity on electrical systems, do not use the aluminum ladders. They are conductive. You can get electrical shock because you are using that type of a device. Use the fiberglass ladders, right? So that's as far as the slides that have to do with the ladders. Let me just see here if we have time to expand on some of the first slides that we did. Okay, improper ladders setup, portable ladders not 3 feet above the, so we covered that. Not securing the ladder correctly, so this is the common ladders hazards. Standing on the top 2 steps of a ladder, yeah, we covered that. And overreaching. So now, after we have gone through that, when you read this again, it's going to make more sense because you have some reference to it, because we talked about it, all right? So when it comes to step ladders, you should only step on the designated area to be stepped on. The other one is just to keep the balance. You do not stand on that. You're going to collapse the ladder. You definitely do not stand on the pail shelf. This is for painters. It's called pail shelf, but you can put other things on it. Just keep in mind that whatever you put on any kind of elevated devices, just remember that there are people walking underneath you, right? That's why when it comes to in our lab room, the cubicles upstairs that we're using for practicing connecting things or installing things, there is that rail there. I always tell you not to put anything on top of that rail. Get the safety sense in you. It's not practicing. It's for real. You put something on top of that rail, you can knock it off with your elbow once you turn around, and it is going to land on somebody's head, and it's going to hurt somebody. So, you know, we're doing the real thing. Yeah, all right. Before stepping onto a ladder, think about these things. Duty rating, so we talked about that. Height of the ladder, not too short, not too fall. Condition of the ladder and instructions. You know, the ladders should not be damaged. Okay. Now, this is your life in your own hands. You are stepping on that, and if this ladder is not in a good, proper, safe condition, If it's worn out, they do get worn out. They do get damaged. They do get used up. All right, they wear and tear. At some point, you just have to say goodbye to your ladder, right, and get a new one. So if any kind of there's any kind of damage of that, the ladder is deemed not safe, and if you get into an accident, you're going to maybe have problem with your insurance as well, because it is your responsibility as well to use the equipment correctly. Okay. Oh, what's duty care with All right. You know what? You have 20 minutes here to get to do some review for your digital test that you're just about to write. That was Mr. Hager. Okay, so I'm gonna let you go right now, and tomorrow when we see each other at 2 o'clock, we're going to talk about the scaffold safety, and we're going to have a little bit of a discussion just to see how much information you have retained from this presentation here, right? Okay, thank you guys, and have a wonderful evening, and good luck on your test, and don't say thank you, all right? When somebody tells you good luck, don't say thank you, because it's bad luck. I don't know, somebody told me that, I'm not sure. All right. All right, see you guys, bye.